Oh, hello there. If you're anything like me and you live where the weather sucks in the winter, and we're getting to be mid February, so chances are I'm about to lose my frickin' mind. I'm about to go crazy. I am so sick of being stuck inside, dealing with this winter. This winter's been hard. I've been sick as hell ever since Christmas. Last week it turned into pneumonia. I am over it. I'm finally on antibiotics and possibly maybe the worst is behind me. I'm still breathing like I'm 70 years old and been smoking 4 packs a day of Winston Reds. But I think it's getting better. So let's now my tanks, you see, some of them are good, some of them are ugly. I've been changing the water. I've been doing my thing. But they're not all the best right now because lots of things going on in life. For one, I've been super busy shipping shrimp, answering emails, dealing with the post office delays. It's been a mess. Winter sucks. Everything about it for doing what I do is it, you know what show. Oh, man. So I figured I'd show you what things look like when, as you can see, I've also been trying to work on my health, trying to get healthier, doing good on that. Being sick, the wife's been sick, the kids have been sick, we've been stuck inside just staring at each other's freaking throats. I'm over winter. So I thought I'd share with you what's been going on around here. Like I said, kind of ugly, but you know, water's getting changed, shrimp are getting shipped out, things are going good. Just with everything going on, YouTube, sometimes you get burned out a little bit. I've had a lot of you guys asking me, are you not doing YouTube videos anymore? Well, I certainly plan to, and I'm certainly hoping to do better with them. So hopefully we can start this thing going full steam ahead for 2025. All right, so let's take a look at some of the tanks and how things are going. All right, I thought I'd start where I am most excited about right now. And some of you may remember the attempt to make blue and orange really shrimp. Well, we have a lot of babies now, and we have a lot of promise. To the person who said, that'll never work, you're just gonna end up with a bunch of wilds. Ha! Suck it. I may not be a smart man, but I know a thing or two about shrimps. So excited about this. We got a nice group of the fire reds, and the moss decided to do its own thing. Here's another cool project. Bloody Mary Reallys that are mostly turning into like a blue chocolate really Bloody Mary. Pretty awesome, man. The blue was not intentional, but the more I go with them, the more they end up getting that way. And I sure as heck ain't complaining. So here's another thing you might see if you're in my fish room. So yesterday was water change day, and we're battling algae like in a lot of tanks, like we do. And after when I do my water changes, I'll hit a lot of the moss that has algae in it with peroxide, and so then the algae will oxidize. Those are oxygen bubbles from the H2O2, and you get enough in there, and the moss will float. So that's what we got here. Plucko Town. We got tons of red shrimp in here. So, not pretty right now. But everything's doing good, and that's the theme you'll see around the fish shrimp room right now. Now, this is one where the glass needs scraped. But I enjoy letting this happen sometimes. Because if you look here, baby shrimp, little tiny specks, little tiny baby shrimp everywhere on the front of the glass that's dirty. Here are the greens, looking good. We'll get this glass scraped here in the next few days. Bloody Mary's doing so good. Oh, I love them so much. This tank actually looks really good right now. Super happy with it. And we got the moss float show right here. We got the snowballs. And I know the snowballs have been out of stock on my website for a while, but not for long. If you look, if it'll focus, which it's not. And oh, I hit the wrong button. Oops. Tons of little baby shrimp everywhere in here. So these guys, I'm letting them get their population built up pretty good. I never thought I would need a 40-gallon tank for snowballs. We got algae floating, bubbles, oxygen bubbles. Never thought I'd need a 40-gallon tank for snowballs, but here I am. That's still enough. Here's some super cool stuff. The ocean blue Neos, the new ones I got not too long ago. These guys are breeding out. Doing good. Look at the orange really. This is the orange really breeding tank. There's so many babies in here. So many. Here's some algae mess. Look at the blue jellies. They have been doing quite spectacular lately. Oh, I love them. I love them so much. They don't mind algae. And we got same kind of thing going on in the, oh my God, we scared them. Oh my God, we scared them. We got oranges everywhere. We got blue dreams in a mess. We've got yellows. This tank still looks pretty good. The moss is getting out of hand, but we've got lots of beautiful yellers. Now, down here's a cool one. I started, this is the old Bloody Mary coal tank. And just letting Bloody Marys and the calls and everything just breed out. Letting these guys go wild. And it was so cool to see what happened. Bloody Mary Reallys, that's how I started mine. Calls that these guys sped out years ago. So cool. I've been seeing some orange ones pop up in here. That's really bizarre. Never thought I'd see that in there, but here we are. Now, these are my blue dreams. And really, the new fancy schmancy ocean blues that everyone raves about. I mean, I don't really see a whole lot of a difference. Now, the ocean blues are super, super good, but I worked a long, long time on these guys. Pretty good. Here's the making my own orange or making my own red really project. Orange reallys. Look at these guys. These guys are so good. I love them so much. This tank is doing pretty good. Not a lot to complain about here. Now, the only non-neos, the fancy tigers. These guys are doing so good. I was hoping to have a rack built for carradinas by now. But with things going on and the weather sucking, I gotta build the rack outside. I don't have a garage or anything to work in, and it's been snowing, raining, freaking it's cold as hell. So, and the wife and I discussed and where I was going to put the rack for these guys, she's not thrilled with. So, right, we have like a living room and a family room, and she wants the living room with no aquariums, just to have a living space. But then the family room, where most of the stuff is anyway, we still use that as living space. But the plan is that is not going to be living space anymore. And that whole back of the house will be dedicated to just shrimp. So that's where the new carabiner rack will end up going. But it's going to take a little bit longer. But it'll be bigger and have more tanks on it than I originally planned. I think this is the last video I did. Red Reallys. This is the new blue jelly tank. We got the algae. But look at them. This is the one where I brought in like 80 shrimp from outside. And now there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of blue jellies in here. And they look really good too. So I'm excited about that. And here is the fire and ice tank for all my red calls, blue jelly calls, all my blue red really crazy shrimp project things I got going on. This is just where I watch them mix and enjoy. This is my personal favorite tank. Now I pulled out a bunch of moss, so there's a little bit of green algae growing on the front. We got some hair algae popping up, and I did hit it with some peroxide. So that's why you see all the bubbles. I saw a comment just the other day. Someone asked me, how do you keep moss or how do you keep algae out of your moss? Well, the answer is about half the time I don't. I pick it out and spot treat with hydrogen peroxide, and oxidizes the algae and does not harm the moss or the tank or the shrimp or the critters if done in moderation. Now, you don't ever want to do more than 2 mils per gallon or 1.5 mils per gallon. Now, sometimes I go about 2 mils per gallon a lot of times. Now it depends. Now, if you have a big old established tank where you have lots of detritus and mulm and organic buildup, you can get away with a little bit more. But don't go crazy. Now, if you have a newer tank where you're dealing with just algae in a new setup, then you want to go on the lighter dosing of that. Now, there's videos of it everywhere and step-by-step guides of how to do it. That's not what this video is about, but I talked about it a little bit earlier, and look at that. There's always algae that grows on the spray bar I've got here. And so every time I do a water change, I come over here and spray the top of this with peroxide all the way down. And then there's always peroxide or algae everywhere on top of the filter. So I'm always putting peroxide there. All right. Those are the cool things right now, the things that aren't too embarrassing to show. Now, I'd say that's pretty embarrassing to show, but shrimp doing good. Everything's getting their water changes on time. It's just getting in the tank and dealing with some of the other things. So nothing's suffering. Everything's doing good. All right, let's close this thing out. All right, there you have it. Some of my ugly tanks shrimp are still really cool. Shrimp are still doing good. But, sometimes the winter gets to you. This year it certainly has. And the YouTube thing is just, oh man, lots of stuff going on. Overwhelmed, burned out. So I'm going to do good. I promise I'm going to do the best I can. Just as I always have. I'm feeling recharged and rejuvenated. So, more YouTube stuff. Thank you guys for sticking there with me. And don't feel sorry for me. Don't feel too bad for me. I still live a completely charmed life compared to what it was before I started doing this. Again, without you guys, none of this would be possible. Thank you for keeping me busy all throughout the winter. Thanks again. Bye.